Hi everybody, it's Cori. Welcome to the Diamond Painting Effect with Cori. Today I'm doing a stitch along, or a stitch with me, and I'm working on this big girl for the event for Diamond Grandma and Pencil Surprises. It's Pencil Surprises and Diamond Grandma is helping her. And I'll put the links to that below in the description if you want to enter that event. It's just stitching and sharing, or diamond painting, or crafting and sharing what you're doing. You have to listen to their channels, watch their channels if you want to enter for any prizes. They're doing stuff throughout the month that you can enter for. So follow them, and that's how you do that. Okay, this is how far I've gotten on the big girl. And I'm gonna try. I found out there is a setting on my camera that I can do it close up. The next setting close up is kind of, I don't know, it may be too close, but I'm gonna try that setting today. Before we get into that, I just wanted to point out I'm going to be working down here again because this is a very high contrast color, and some of the ones I've been working on up here are not. One of the, I don't know if you can see this, but one of the problems I've had with this particular symbol is, I don't know if you can tell, but there are X's and zeros in the motif, and they're all just about every area that has these is like that. And I'm working on the O's, so I've covered a lot of them up already, but after a while of looking at that, the X's and the O's just kind of all blur together, and I have to just look away for a minute and then put it at a different distance and help those X's and O's come back into focus again. Who would think that X's and O's could be confusing? But what happens is the bottom of one X and the top of another X form the shape of the O. And so your eyes start going cross-eyed after a while. But anyway, so I'm going to work and stitch on this. Once I sit down and start stitching, I won't be able to see what you guys are seeing, so I hope this works. Here we go. We're going to zoom in now. There we go. Okay. This cross-stitch pattern is from Onedaysaving. And there's a video on that when I got that, if you want to look that up. And this is, I've folded one thread in half. There. I've threaded one thread in half so where it makes a loop. I know. There we go. It makes a loop on the end, and then I'm gonna put my needle through there to loop it when I start. That's how I'm gonna start my stitch this time. I really prefer to have the longer thread, but for the video it doesn't work as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this patch right here. And this is how I do my loop stitch. I pull it, I go down from the top and come up again, and then I pull it to where there's just a little bit of the loop left, and then I pull it back over, and then I'll make sure I'm on this side of that loop, and then I go down. And that's how I do that. So then I'll come back up here and I'll be doing the sewing method across the top here. And I'll try to hold it so that y'all can see what I'm doing. I know in the past I haven't been doing that. Okay, and I should have come up over here for the sewing method. And I have to think too much about this. Okay, I'm going to go down on the top right and come up on the top left of this corner because I'm just starting my cross, so I'll only go one hole over. And then I'm going to be finishing the cross, so I'll be going 2 holes over so I can start the next stitch. I'll go up to the top right, go over 1 hole because I'm starting this cross, and now I'll go down to the bottom of that cross and go 2 holes over because I'm finishing the cross. That's pretty much how that stitch works, the sewing method. And then you just keep on going across that way, and you get in a rhythm, and pretty soon you're not even really thinking about what you're doing. So anyway, I've been doing a lot of nothing lately. I just haven't been feeling good. I've been having migraines, throwing up, dizzy, spikes in my blood pressure. Just, I don't know what is going on. And it's usually I wake up really, really bad. And as the day progresses, I get better. Some days I got better quicker. Some days it never happened. And so that's what's been going on with me. There are a couple of days where there's no way I could have done a video. And I'm going back to the doctor tomorrow. Because something's got to be done about the blood pressure. I'm trying to do the natural ways of doing it, but I don't have the funds. I did buy some beets because that's supposed to help your blood pressure, and garlic. And so I'm trying that because I can buy that kind of thing, food items. But I can't, anyway, hopefully, recently the doctor had changed my prescription so that it took out the diuretic out of my blood pressure medicine. And I think by doing that, it helped. The problem is it was causing muscle cramps because the diuretic leaches your body of the minerals. And so he thought we could try and see how that would go, and apparently it's not going well. So I also have drinking lemon juice. All the things that seem to help that are hard on your stomach, and I have a delicate stomach. So anyway, that's it for my update, because that's all that's really been my life this past week is my health issues. Some days I couldn't even stitch. Stitching is one of the last things. I can diamond paint when I don't feel good, and I can stitch when I don't feel good. I can stitch. Stitching is the last thing I can do when I don't feel good. And there were some days where I didn't even stitch. I'm going to put pictures in somewhere in this video of my progress before this video started. There won't be much progress in this video. here's a little tip. I don't know if you guys know that, but if you pull a thread through and one thread is up a little bit higher than the other, all you need to do is stick your needle in there and that top layer and pull it up, and that tends to straighten them. And that's just a little tip. I don't know if anybody else, I did it instinctively. I don't know if other people know that little trick. Maybe other people don't have that problem. But anyway, so Ava was stitching on the inner leg, is beginning to do some lives. If y'all want to go see her channel, she's doing lives on Sundays afternoons, and if you get into her Facebook group and all that stuff, you can be notified when she's going to do what she's going to do, and follow her channel when she's going to do her lives. So you guys go over there and check her out. My son is, and his trucking, was able to visit one of his best high school friends. He had a load that was to be delivered in Lubbock today, but he managed to get there on Saturday, so he was able to meet up with his friend, and I was kind of happy for them that they don't get to see each other very often, but they do stay in touch. And this is what I do. I hope I'm still on the phone. Is I just turn it upside down when I get to the next row, and then the same way you've been sewing will work for the next line. Sometimes you have to adjust it a bit for that first stitch. It probably, if I was aware enough, I could do it right so you don't. Am I in here? I'm trying to see. Here's the stitch. Okay. So all I do is just flip it upside down. You have to be careful when you go sideways. If your brain can do the opposite and not get messed up, there you can go up and down and do it sideways, but golly, that's where you get messed up sometimes, getting your crosses mixed up. And I still do it. And I notice that, especially when I'm stitching when I don't feel good, I'm more likely to mess up. But I am so glad today is a much better day. I still have to make slow motions, slow movements, but I was able, my brother-in-law drove me to this grocery store, and I was able to go in and actually get a few things like garlic and beets. And I was able to do that. When we set out, I was planning on sending my brother-in-law in for me, but when we got there, okay, I'm checking my tail. But when we got there, I said, you know what, Dwayne, I think I can do this. Just drop me off at the door and I'll go do it. And I did my shopping, and I got a few things for him too. So that was so nice to be able to do that, because yesterday I was flat bedridden for half the day, recliner ridden for the last half of the day. And I wasn't up to stitching until probably 7 or 8 o'clock last night. I did get a nap in also. And Ava had an idea. Thank you, Ava. And I have started making a logbook. But I just finally, I mean, I've been meaning to do it since last week, but I never felt up to. Let's see, this is how I know where to center my hand. Okay. But anyway, so she had suggested I make a logbook of things that I do, things that I try to alter to help. And so I started doing that, recording my blood pressures so I can show. So far, whenever I go to the doctor, my blood pressure is usually a little high, but nothing alarming. But when that bottom number is over 100, I think that's alarming. But so far, it's never done it at the doctor's office. So I can take my little logbook with me and show them what's happening. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I don't know what makes your blood pressure to spike like that. Because I think for now it's only spiking. But I can feel it. So I know that the really bad headaches coincide with the really high blood pressure. So, and there I am talking. I was gonna not talk about my health so much, but what do you do? What do you talk about when that's all that's in your life, man? Gunther and Persephone, they have kind of gotten along with each other. They've had my two kitties. Every once in a while they get into a tussle. But, I mean, I've had them for, is it probably a year now? Maybe more. And they're finally starting to be pals. They're playing, and see, that's how you lose your needle. They're playing and cavorting around and creating some kind of havoc when they do it. One of the days when I was really sick, my brother-in-law, the dogs came over for a while, and I think they knew. It's kind of interesting how they know, because they stayed really close to me. Freya, I kept her because she was such a lapdog as a puppy, but as she got older, she quit. That part quit. She didn't really appreciate being in the lap for very long. She'll do it, but not for long. Well, that little girl stayed in my lap for about 2 hours. And it's like they know. And Honey was right. Her favorite place is laying down by the front door. And Honey Bear just stayed right at my feet during that time. And that made me feel good. At one point, I had all of them. All the cats, the dogs, everything were around me. Just giving me moral support. It was so sweet. And I started doing a cross stitch with Ava she's working on the month to month from Stitching with the Housewives. We started January, but in my foolishness, I don't have any 14 count. I don't have any Ada other than my stamped kits. And I do have an 18 count, but it's too dark. And so I started it on an even weave. 28 count even weave, which I've never stitched on before. I got it because my goal in this life is I would like to do a Heaven and Earth design. Sometime in my lifetime, I'd like to do a Heaven and Earth design. And so I got that to try and prepare for it. They have a couple of free patterns, and I was setting up to try to do one of the Hannah Land ones. And I'm realizing now that when you do something like that, it needs to be something that you love in order to continue doing it. So I'm kind of backpedaling on trying that one. I like Hannah Lynn, but I don't know that I'm going to love her for the next 3 years, you know? Because Heaven and Earth designs do take quite a bit of time to finish. And I am really, I went up the wrong way. I went down the wrong way. I don't know what I'm doing over here. Completely missed it. So because there's no other stitches in the area, I'm going to try to back it up. But when there's other stitches around, backing up doesn't work. So, but I think I'm going to be able to fix this one. Now, I made this cross the wrong way. So I'm going to pull it up. Make sure I didn't put another one down there. And then I'm going to slide this under there. Like that, and now that stitch is correctly orientated. And I think I'm going to go ahead and finish this piece of thread off. I don't usually finish it off this early because, yeah, you know, you don't want to waste your thread. But once they start coming off the needle for me, sometimes I'll just, you know what, that means I'm going to be hassling that piece of thread for the next 10 stitches, if that's how many are left on it. And so I'll just, especially since I'm with you guys, I'm just going to end that piece and start another thread, which I have already lined up over here. So anyway, I will continue working on this. I'm going to go ahead and back over here. Where was I? I don't even know where it was. Here we are. Back over here, and I'll probably finish this little motif up. It's part of her dress. It's just a design. It's not really anything in particular. But you can watch me do this one more time if you'd like. Pull that. Then I'm going to go down like this. Okay. My plans for the future is every day that I can do a stitch with me or a drill with me or embroidery with me, I'm going to try to do one. And when I have a unboxing, you'll probably get a bonus video on those days. I'm not going to do anything on Sundays, and I'm leaving Saturdays up for grabs, and of course everything depends on what I'm doing in my life and how I'm feeling. But for now, I want to thank you for joining me for the Diamond Painting Effect with Cori. Thank you for dropping by. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like, and ring that notification bell so you can be notified every time I put up a video. Take care so I can see you again in the next one.